I don't have a single story. What's interesting about, my family, like a lot of families, I think we were chased out of parts of Russia and the Ukraine, and came here. My grandfather was a cop, and I remember in Lowell, Mass. I remember telling people, my father was a cop. I said, how did a Jewish guy get to be a cop? Interesting, when my father, who's an engineer, grew up, his father was sort of tough on him in a lot of ways, and they led kind of a very, I think, almost orthodox, conservative/orthodox practice without any real understanding of what it was. And I remember my father saying, I would say to my parents, so, we're having separate dishes, right? But you use the same soap to wash them. Like, why is that? Or we're separating things, but then you use it in the same machine to wash it. And my grandfather would say, shut up, right? And that led my father, who's a pretty rational guy anyway, being an engineer, to go, I don't believe a lot of this. And I think it's part of the reason that we were raised in the Reform tradition. But what I like about Judaism is it's about questions, that all questions are good. And I think it's another reason I became a journalist, because it embraces curiosity. And it says that curiosity leads you to the truth. Well, what a great notion to live your life by, not just being Jewish, but in everything. Because I always resist the notion of stop asking, you don't need to know that. Because when people tell you don't need to know that, I think, wait a minute, there's something I do need to know. I do think we know to know how the world functions around us. I think we need to know what the government does in our name. I think we need to know how our tax dollars are being spent. I think we need to know what's happening around the world. I think we need to, because it helps us think about how to live our life and what our obligations are to our fellow person.